All right, you guys, I gotta talk to you guys about Russ right now, because I'm in a very interesting place as a longtime NBA fan, and just Russ is my guy. He's been my ride or die for so long. But he's at a different point in his career, obviously, and this is not me video saying that Russell Westbrook is done or anything. Russell Westbrook still brings a lot to the game and will for a few more years. But as someone that's followed him and seen the ups and downs and knows how great he is, and the player, I understand the player Russell Westbrook very, very well. I mean this when I say this. If he wants to be in winning situations moving forward, it's not going to be on teams like the Wizards where he has to be the best or even like a 1B, kind of situation like it is with Beal and him right now, where they are really expecting him to be, an all-NBA player. And that's not me saying that he cannot give you that kind of production. But when I look at his career moving forward and just in ways his teams are going to succeed, I think teams are going to have to rely on him much less, as a fan, I'm speaking just as someone that I'm trying to get the best for Russell Westbrook for his career. I want him to be in good situations. Russ from 2013 to 2017, 18, on a team like this, he could bring them to, one of the best teams in the East, like that's how good that player was. But in 2021 moving forward, just being honest, as much as I love him and what he does still bring great things to the game, but I don't think he can be, he should be relied upon to be, your MVP candidate or even your 1B, your number one best player if you're trying to, be a playoff team. And that's, some of you guys might be thinking I'm being harsh when I say that about Russell Westbrook. And I know that he gets a lot of criticism. Trust me, I know, I'm a big fan of his. This is not coming with any criticism. This is not me criticizing his game. This is more looking at where he's at in his career. I think a good example is Russell Westbrook is, if not LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, in my opinion, is the best athlete to ever play in the NBA. LeBron is the only one that really has that, label over him. In my opinion, I could argue that with you. But that's not the case right now. He's not even a top 10 athlete in the NBA. And he's still fast, and yes, he can still dunk, but I've seen, we've seen enough games, and not just this year, but last year, and just to show that he's not the same athletic beast amongst everybody in the league that he once was. Doesn't mean he still can't rebound. That doesn't mean he still can't, go coast to coast or, get some, dunk and all that stuff. But he's not that same beast, Again, he's not the guy that can just go out there and just get it, just his output on the game. He's putting up just, he'll give you 38, 16, and 15 kind of production, just being the best player on the floor, against whoever's out there, so those days, I'm not saying we're not going to see it, that's why I'm happy I got this, this Rockets thing, because I really do feel that might have been the last we see of that level of Russell Westbrook. It was beautiful to watch his season in Houston. I don't think people cherish it enough. He was great last year. They try to just remember what happened in the bubble in the playoffs, which wasn't great. But he killed it. He was all NBA, had great, not only a great stretch, the entire season was great, but he had one of the best stretches of his career. I think things will turn around a bit. He'll look better in Washington, but I don't think it'll ever get to that point. And even if it were, though, my overall point of, I don't think that if you want the best out of Russell Westbrook, you don't want him being your best player, even your 1B. You want him being your third or fourth, best player, a player you're relying on. That's just going to be so much better for him, or either in a situation where he can give you, 17, 8, and 8, and watching him play at times in Washington this season, I could see where he could be comfortable in that, where he's just not, the team's not even expecting Russ to go out there and drop 20. Like, he's really, all they're expecting him to do is to go out there, and push the pace, get on the boards, push it, compete, be him, like play with his energy on both ends of the floor, and knock down, some shots, every now and then, like in pick and roll situations, knock down some shots, but ultimately like create shots for his teammates. But again, just a much different role where he's like his main goal offensively is to create shots for his teammates. And then obviously, when there's times when they're forcing you just to score and pick and roll, you got to do that. But ultimately, he's really trying to create shots for others, where his numbers are looking, again, from that 16 to 18 point area, with the 8 rebounds, 8 assists, kind of thing. So that's really what I would like to see for Russ moving in his career. Like, that's the best thing for him after this Washington year. Who knows what's going to happen this year? But moving forward, I really do think that's what's going to be best for him. If he wants to be in playoff or contending situations, and just, I guess that's the spirit of where this conversation's going. That's now we're finally getting to the nitty gritty. Is like, I'm an NBA fan, right? And I ultimately want to cheer, for players that I, find either inspiration from, or like I really, love what they're doing out there. And I'll never, have another athlete like Russ moving forward. That was Russ. The Russ days go back to when I was, young and in high school and all that stuff. So now I just don't have that attachment to these guys coming up that I did for, for the guys in my era. So I'm gonna definitely find some new players and new teams. I'm always gonna be a huge NBA fan, but there'll never be someone like Russ. But in that, I'm saying that now that Russ is not in a winning situation and not the player that he once was, it's not as exciting, to watch him pass. I still have the same emotional attachment, but he's not the same. I still have the same attachment, but he's not the same. So it's weird, and I just feel like I'm in a weird place because like Bradley Beal dropped 60, and that's dope, but like I don't really like feel that like I should, because I'm not feeling what I'm supposed to from Russ, and I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to be like just so following Russ, that I'm not as interested in the team. Like I want to be, genuinely care about the team, which I did for OKC, which I did for even Houston. So I just think that, this Washington thing is just so weird because it's never been like this for Russ. There was just no chance, to win a title. Other than that, obviously the year he won MVP, but that year was something else, it's different, Not only was he better, but the whole circumstances of that season were different because KD had just left. So, I don't know. It's tough, and I don't know where it's gonna, lead me in terms of who I'm cheering for. But I know I'm always gonna have this emotional attachment to Russ, and obviously with the Wizards because of that, and to follow their games and watch them and tweet about them. But, I don't know. It's just weird. I guess I'm really having trouble putting it all together how I feel. But ultimately, if you get anything from this video, don't take criticism towards Russ. And I'm not saying he's washed or anything. Like I said, what he still brings to the game. But I do believe that he needs to take a step back if he wants to be in playoff situations. Like moving forward, he's just in a different point in his career, guys. He's just not the same amongst everybody else out there. And it's clear he could, like I said, he can do things. There's still things he brings to the game at an elite level: the playmaking, the rebounding for his position. But the scoring, he is not an elite scorer anymore. He's just not. He was, but he's just not anymore. And honestly, like when you talk about implementing him into an offense, that's why I say he can't be your best or second best. Is that again the 3-point shot is just for whatever reason it's just tanked over these last few years. I mean, we can be honest about it. His mid-range is kind of over Houston and now in Washington. He's really gotten his rhythm back in there. There was a year in OKC where even that was just off one year too, really bad. But he's gotten that back. The 3-point shot just hasn't come back, and then they have the free throws. It's been a long enough time now that like. I mean, we can call it like it is, guys. We can be real. Like as a Russ fan, we can be real. Like Russ, just he's a terrible 3-point shooter. He's not taking his time. For like he needs to take his time when he's open and knock down a shot. Like he needs to figure that out. We can be real. Like he needs to figure that out if he wants to be productive moving forward in his career. I mean, it's as simple as that. Like, not doesn't mean he doesn't still bring those things to the game that he does, but ultimately there will always be that cap there if he can't take down, and not just take, but he needs to make them. Like, he needs to make some of those shots. He made some tonight in the Washington game, but you know, it's been just too spotty. Like, you can't be shooting sub 30%, you know, as a guard in the NBA, at being relied upon like that. You know, like, yeah, like you can be a Lonzo Ball player, but like, you know, that's not Russell Westbrook. So, anyway, said a lot here. I don't know if I'm gonna post this to everybody, but definitely will be on YouTube. If you watch this, just my thoughts. Say what you will, you know, put it in the comments, but just had to get this out because it was just in my heart. So.